Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the football this week. I put a tweet out. It's been, in my opinion, the best Champions League absolutely ever. Okay, and there's a lot of great lessons on Football Index that you can take out of the latter stages of the Champions League that we've had this year. Just really, it's a great, when you put it under the microscope, it really shows you a lot of things that you need to really keep in your focus and your decision making. Okay, I did a recording of this earlier, and I got interrupted with phone calls and stuff, and I just binned it. So it's allowed me a wee bit of time to maybe structure it a bit better. I'm like, sometimes if I do videos off the cuff, it can be a bit. You go from 1 to 3, back to 2, over to 5, back to 4, up to 8, and just jump a bit all over the place. Anyway, I'm not going to do that tonight. So if we look at the Champions League from when we came into the new year, okay, and we go from the knockout rounds. Obviously, we're getting hyped up now about all the comebacks from the semi-final. Liverpool, Spurs, all that type of thing, right? But if you go all the way through this Champions League, it's been absolutely full of them from the get-go. You can even go into group stages. There's a nice couple of examples there. But for the football index and stuff, I want to kind of highlight to you guys, we're going to start off at the last 16, okay? So the ones that really jump out in terms of amazing comebacks is the two right here in the middle of the screen. So Ajax been 2-1 down to Real Madrid, going in the second leg and beating them 4-1 at the Bernabeu, I want to say. Yeah, what a comeback that was, really, amongst other things. Second of all, Juventus coming back from 2-0 down at the Grandstand Metropolitano, whatever it's called, and then scoring 3 against Atletico Madrid and keeping them out. That was a top comeback, and obviously it was Mr. Ronaldo that night. And then we had Man United, 2 away goals for PSG in the second leg. They went produced a wonderful bit of magic under Solskjaer, and that was amazing. But another one that went under the radar a bit here was, Roma and Porto. No one fancied Porto. You might think it's a tight tie. Maybe Roma might run away with it, but when they won the first leg 2-1, you think, right, okay, well, Italian teams should do pretty well. But no, Porto turned it on. So in terms of football index, I've got 2 examples from this stage that I want to. Obviously, we had Bayern Munich also going out, and we had Man City going through, we had Spurs going through. In hindsight, comfortably in 2 legs. I know the games didn't really pan out like that. But the first one I want to highlight to you guys is somebody went out from Real Madrid, okay? And we're going to have a look, as we give away for later on probably. We're going to have a little look at Bale, okay? Oh, he's right there. Beautiful. So Bale, if we have a look at his graph over the last even 6 months, back from basically into New Year, and you can see there's a lovely big hike and a big rise towards Champions League football, okay? It's a massive driver. So when you see people jumping on at that time and you're getting closer and closer to knockout rounds of the Champions League, a good portion of that trade, that commerce, is match day chasers, people that are looking for somebody who's going to go on a run to the Champions League final, okay? And at the beginning of the video, I want to make this clear: only 2 teams can get to the final. Not every player can. It's one of these things that I think traders, myself included, don't always think about the final too much. You just think about the next round, and that's fair enough, right? But even when Real Madrid go out, we didn't really see too much of a backward movement from Bale. The date that they went out to Ajax, if you have a look at it, was the 5th of March, right? And if you look at his 3-month graph, you can see between the end of February and the middle of March, he was just going up, a nice steady curve there. Now, if you zoomed into the day-to-days, each 24-hour segment, it may not look as attractive as that, but he's continued all the way past it, and even up until the now, with all the news and everything that's broke, he's continued to rise and rise and rise. Okay, overall, for the past 3 months, the past month, it's been a wee bit more wavy. But there's steady growth there. It's really positive. Why is that? He's been knocked out of the Champions League. The thing with Bale, of course, is he's also British, so he gets a bit more media access than some, and his future's not certain. Zidane comes back in, and then people think, oh, Bale might get sold, and Man United are sniffing about, whatever. So his price wasn't actually really too badly affected by the Champions League. Okay. The second person I want to show you as a little highlight is Kimmich. Okay. Now Kimmich is one of the biggest div magnets for match days in the system, but you can even see here with this graph just how dependent, or how much of the people who buy Kimmich are for the matchday dividends, because Kimmich is, anyone can be transferred, guys. Everyone's got a price, right? But no one's expecting Kimmich to ever really leave Bayern Munich. Certainly within the next 2 or 3 years, it would be a surprise if it happened. Okay, as things stand as we speak. You can see these peaks and troughs around, getting qualified, getting knocked out, and then this peak here that we've put in the crosshairs, he's did well again back in the league. If we look at the date Bayern went out, and we really analyse it. So Bayern got knocked out on the 13th of March. Okay, so again, when we look at his 3-month graph, 13th of March, he spiked all the way up for the game, and then they've been knocked out, and he's dipped down. And then as you can see, he's so where are we at there? 272, 251 to 272 on after the match. Before the match, 235 up to 275, averaging at 252. And if you look at his price today, you can see that's basically remained quite consistent in these bags. I think maybe one bunch of dividends. And even if you look in the last month, there's a nice steady climb there as well if you've been buying them a bit more recently. But it just shows you the effect being knocked out of the Champions League can have on players. Look from here, 272 within the matter of, let's even just put it on the 31st. So in the matter of 2 weeks, he's down to 229. You know, that's a massive drop. And when you're buying players in the Champions League, and you need to pay attention to the trade that's coming into them. If you're buying them where I've got the crosshairs now, so let's just call it 237. And then before a match, you're at 272. To not sell some of that, you are gambling. You know, you're making it a lot more of a risk. You know, if you're going to let events pan out and you're not in full control. And even I backed Bayern Munich. I thought Bayern Munich would have went through, to be honest with you. But there's no such thing as a certain time when we're starting to get crazy comebacks coming in. You need to be thinking about this. But the lesson we're kind of highlighting here so far is, number one, not everyone is subject to a massive drop after elimination, but everyone has got a customer demand when they're still active. Okay, the next round we will go to is the quarterfinals, and again, these games were incredible in a lot of different ways. Especially the Ajax and the Spurs game. Over this side of the tree here. Okay, so. And then Barcelona against Man United. I think we all kind of thought maybe Man United might do it, when the draw was made. But then after the first leg, I think we all knew Man United, the wind had come out their sails a little bit. Okay, and for any of you guys who were around, you'll remember that Marcus Rashford got a lot of attention. He was doing amazing on the index, and him and Cho and Sancho for a period were the dream trio. Everyone wanted a piece of them, and you can see, excuse me, a 6-month graph. All the way up until when did they get eliminated? They got eliminated on the 16th of April. Okay, so try and find the 16th of April. It's going to be in here somewhere. So he started to climb down. It's probably about there somewhere. 415 down to 397. But on the way up, everything's rosy, everything's doing great. And if you're buying at any of these points, and over a 6-month graph, this will look a lot quicker than what it actually would have been. It was a nice gradual increase. And if you look over the last 3 months, he's just went down quite considerably. Because again, Marcus Rashford, we know he's not going to be transferring. He's a great match day hook, but if he's not got the potential treble match days, there's other people in the market at 356 that are more attractive for the same or a cheaper price. So again, when you're buying these people, it's thinking about the upside, right? It can't go up forever, even between when they get through and then when they get knocked out. If you look there, from between the 23rd of February, 23rd of February, which would have been back here, 23rd of February, yeah, right in the middle of all that is when he's peaked out and then he went through. So the first leg wasn't until the 10th of April. So the 10th of April is going to be somewhere about here. He's already kind of on the decline because people are thinking Barcelona are probably going to knock them out, and they're not going to go any further in the competition, so it just highlights to you the fact that you need to be thinking, forget the names Marcus Rashford, okay, or forget, here's a great example, to my benefit and I think I'm mainly benefited out of this, but if you look at Ronaldo, he's coming all the way down, Atletico are knocking out Juve, and then he gets a little bit of a pop back. He was getting unpopular anyway for some reason on the index. He was just losing customers, went all the way down here. Juve made the comeback, he popped right back up, and then Juve get knocked out by Ajax and he dropped all the way down here. So again, even Ronaldo with his media power and his match day potential, goals, assists, star man's definitely in his locker. The trends can't go on forever, and you need to always be thinking about the price of them and then what other people might be thinking, what else is moving around there, and making sure you capitalise on any growth you can get before an uncertain event. If you look at the Juventus game, 1-1 in the first leg, they've got the away goal, fair enough, and I was confident as well. I thought Ronaldo would see them through, but no, you just can't. After we did to Real Madrid, everyone knew it was not all said and done. There was still a match to be had, and Ajax done it. And saying that, but again, like the Bale example we had, in this exact same team, a very similar price player, not anymore, but over the time period they've been around a similar price. It's Dybala, you know. So again, you can see the same trends of, oh, they look like they're going out, and oh, they've qualified, oh, they've went out, oh, he's recovered again. You know, you can see those grooves there because he's got transfer speculation. It's unlikely for Ronaldo to leave Juventus after a season, although it wouldn't be surprising now that he's won everything in Italy. Doesn't really need to stay there for any reason, but he 100% wants to become the first man to win the Champions League with 3 clubs. That is 100% his target. You know, there's no, he openly tells you, but Dybala has that little caveat of being a transfer target for someone out there, you know. So again, his market, who is it you're seeing after they get eliminated, right? It must be from here, I don't even need to check the dates here. He's went from 285 in a period of time down to like 275 after elimination from the Champions League, after what we've seen already with like Kimmich and Rashford and all these types of people. That kind of movement tells you right away a lot of people aren't actually buying on at Dybala for match day potential. They're buying on him for a longer hold, and when you're really shopping with players like that, your money tends to be a lot safer for a lot longer, because the other people that are in that hold with you have got the same intention as you, or a different intention to you, in the sense they're going to hold along and wait for. And then recently, obviously, we've got news he's going to Man United, and that's why certainly in the last couple of, 273 down up to 30. What's his high been? 307. You know, off the back of the news that's been coming out in the last week. You know, so that's removed from the Champions League. You know, things have moved on. The tournament's progressed more. Everything's happened with the index and whatever as well, and that is going to take us on to the semi-finals. Okay, we had all the magic last night. Okay, now with the stuff we're chatting about, you might be thinking, okay, this is good, you're highlighting this and you're just basically pointing out dates in the calendar and everything as well, right? But last night was, this week has been absolutely monumental for football in general. And hopefully in turn the index as well, as these guys start to advertise more and really put their name out there, and everyone's getting excited and enthused about football, and when you hear, you speak to your friends, people you work with, whatever, the index is only going to benefit off the back of that, okay? And it's important you remember lessons where you can look back at them over a 6 to 3 month period and really analyse player movement and how it identifies different things, okay? So the 2 examples we've got from the semi-finals that we want to chat about is, first of all, we'll have a look at, let's actually just not look at anything. Let's just have a look at decrease, right? And this should tell you everything. Yeah, cool. So the top 5 out of the top 4, 5 out of the top 6. You can even stretch it down to De Jong and bring him into this as well. But they're all Ajax players, and again, this whole dramatic, amazing run they've been going on, they've just been taking that hike all the way up, and then the crash that you're seeing now coming off the back of these guys, 203 down to 172, 173. These are the match day traffic that are now going. We know these guys are all going to be linked with transfers, okay? But once this hits rock bottom, which I think, certainly by this time tomorrow, you'll have a much better idea of that, okay? But I think for a lot of these guys, Neres had a bit of an injury, so his is a little bit different, right? It's just the match day traffic that we're chasing, the treble match days and payouts and all that type of thing. And all the people who are staying with them for the summer transfers, or even for next season, like you potentially might be. So when this happens, you've just seen the graphs over 3 months and 6 months with guys like Kimmich. As soon as they perform well again, if these guys go to a qualifying league like De Jong is, De Ligt will be, Van de Beek quite possibly, and David Neres and Ziyech I think are almost certainly going to move as well. Then when they're in a better league, and their price will recover, and if you're holding them and you're kicking yourself for not selling already, if you can be patient for a longer period of time, you will make money on them. If you could buy more into them right now, you have the potential to maximise profits for later on, okay? But what kind of got me really inspired to really go through it and really point a lot of stuff out to you, okay, is it's a great thread on my last video from yesterday about Messi, okay? And you can see his price is, Messi and Neymar and these guys that are really at the top of the index will always have growth when big news comes out, okay? So some of this is really exaggerated, and then again, because there's exaggerated growth, there'll be exaggerated decline when it's based on the index changing things and all, the split and the phases and all the stuff that's going on. But all the same principles apply. There's still a lot of that traffic is match day motivated, and as soon as you remove that from somebody, because Messi is basically not going to have a worthwhile game now in terms of football index for a good couple of months, and he's not cheap. He's still got media potential, sure, and a few other things, but when you see this dive coming down, you may be aware that's a lot of it, if not all of it, is match day traffic, okay? And I want to show you the little thread that I'm talking about. So if you go in my last video, you'll see there's a comment here from OG, and you can open it up, there's a bunch of comments, right? You can read through them in your own time. But our boy Ian Loudon, I want to give props to him, because this is the perfect example of understanding the marketplace and understanding that you can't have exponential growth, okay? So as an example here, he's picked up a 100 Messi price, and then once he's hit peak, so once they've knocked out Man United and they've got through, or once they won the first leg, I've checked the dates out for the price and everything, once they've won the first leg of the game against Liverpool, he's then realised, you know what, I've got some dividends, I've got great growth, this can't go on forever, you know, Barcelona might still be very likely to go through, but there's been comebacks and nothing is certain. Forget he's called Messi, take it out of it. I've bought £487 worth, it's now at £517, and all the other dividends he's accumulated, he's probably got a nice little chunk of profit for the period of time he's held them. Release some of that, take it into your balance, withdraw it, go and enjoy it, reinvest it in the index on something else, whatever tickles your pickle, okay? But if you hold on to things without really thinking about where's this growth coming from and when will it end and what will motivate people, and there's things that you can't forecast, like injuries and other things, of course, okay? But it's understanding that the gravy train can't go on forever, and just because you sell 30 of them at 517 doesn't mean that you won't have the opportunity to buy that 30 back at a similar, maybe even if you're buying them back, if you change their mind for whatever reason, he's still going on, you buy them again at 520, you know, you're only out, you're out a small amount for that security. You know, it's not a bad price to pay, considering today you'll be selling them at 487 if you just held on and you went blind, you know. And this guy's done really, really well, and I just put a wee love on it. I was going to comment back, but I thought, along with all the other stuff that I've seen, like the Ajax Reds, I'm calling them, you know, it's just, you really, if you don't identify this stuff, guys, make a mental note of it and log it as an experience. Whether you've been part of this for positive or for negative, or you've not been a part of it at all, the players you've been buying haven't really been Champions League motivated, it's something if you keep this in mind, what we've just kind of highlighted and spoke about, you will make money next year on the exact same situations. You will, because you will know better, you will have more confidence in the market, you'll spot these things earlier, you'll time your own strategies, you'll do different bits and pieces, guys, okay? So as much as we've had a lot of fun, and don't get me wrong, I don't doubt a lot of these have made money over these Champions League periods, because there has been a lot of growth, and depending on how you've rode it, a lot of these have done pretty well probably. But to accept success or accept failure without analysis, you know, you will lead yourself down a dark path at one point. Okay, so I hope this video finds you really well, guys. I hope you find it useful. If you're new around here, subscribe, like, retweet, share, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, bye bye.